Leil is primarily a Twitch streamer. This video has been edited from a longer stream to remove excessive pauses.
Okay, alright, so let's start from the beginning of this. I spent some time over the weekend going through all my recordings and checking to see which games I played this year. And we can also double check with the Steam review. Okay, so replay, let's see, we got 53 games played this year, one fewer than last year, 36 new games, 16 demos, and 3 playtests. Oh, I don't know if I included all the playtests in my whatchamacallit. Plus there were 2 games played on Game Pass, so 73% of the games were played with keyboard and mouse, 27% with controller. Of course, this is just Steam, because I did play Clair Obscur with controller as well. The top categories are Hollow Knight Silksong, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and Wild Indigo Ranch, which is a little wild, actually. That was so many hours of it. Your longest streak was 35 days, apparently. When the fuck did I play for 35 days straight? Holy shit, what? 23% was new releases. A couple of thank you for the follow. Couple of classic games, couple of recent favorites. A lot of the games that I played were Metroidvanias.
Hydrate before you dehydrate.
I shall. Hi, Royjoy! I'm looking at the spider graph of the whatchamacallit, types of games I played this year. The categories are split between cats, Western, Metroidvania, Assassin, Farming Sim, and Souls-like. With the majority being poured into Metroidvania. I'm a little surprised Souls-like isn't any higher. Okay, I'll go back to the beginning of it so you guys can see from the top. So yeah, all of this. I already recapped this a little bit here. Apparently got 147 rare achievements. Yay! 654 achievements unlocked this year. I did do a lot more achievements this year than I did the last few years. And this is what I was talking about. 23% new releases, 16% classic games, and 61% recent favorites. I am gonna say there were a couple of games that I really kind of just sunk into, like Wild Indigo Ranch. So, why is this the category setup? But okay. Mostly Metroidvanias. I don't know why Assassin is there, and I get the high amount of farming sims. This is the year where I started the Chill Monday theme, so at least once in the week I was doing chill games. And then there were a couple of weeks where I was doing a lot of chill games because I just really needed to regain my chill. Why cats is a higher thing? Unless they're bringing 9 souls into it, I guess? Because the only other game I can think of that was cat-themed this year was, Chonkers? Oh wait, Little Kitty Big City was this year. And I think Souls-like should be higher, because 9 Souls has Souls-like themes. Silksong is also Souls-like. There was another game that I played that was kind of Souls-like themed. But yeah, I get why Farming Sim and Metroidvania are so high, both 9 Souls and Silksong, and what's that other one? There's another one I played this year that was also very Metroidvania. Oh well, I can't remember off the top of my head. So Silksong started this year, started in September. I played a lot of it in September, immediately ruined my wrist. I'm still recovering, which, yay. I'm still not finished with the game. There's still a lot to get done, but I am in Act 3, and I'm slowly making my way through that. I figured I'd finish Clair Obscur first, and then I would swap to focusing on Silksong, because I feel like with both of them, I was just kind of putting a lot of undue stress on my wrist, and it wasn't ending well. I kept having to take days off because my wrist was just aching way too much for me to do anything. I've still got it in a brace as we speak, so. Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I think this is just because I spent a lot of time in this game, not that I really thought of this game as a great game. It was fine. It didn't really rekindle my love for Assassin's Creed like I hoped. It did feel like forever. The game just kept going, and it didn't help that every single chapter felt like a brand new game. Story-wise, none of the chapters really had that much intermeshing. It just felt like a bunch of short stories, which, Wild Indigo Ranch. I sunk a lot of time in the later half of this year into this game. I didn't think that I enjoyed the game as much as I did. Actually, you know what? I will get into that when we get to like the actual tier list stuff. So let me not get into it right now. And I think I got like majority of the achievements in this game. Literally all that was left is one that I think I need to have in multiplayer, basically. Now, Sunhaven. I was really into this game until I found out that the devs do not pay their artists. So this, unfortunately, is probably, like, that fact is probably going to impact its ranking in the tier list. Like, if it hadn't been for that fact, I would have ranked it higher, but I'm pretty certain I'm going to put it into, like, a D or even F territory just because of the lack of paying their frigging artists. It's an indie company, you'd think they do better. I really liked this game. I will do a replay of the game and only utilize the full control setup rather than defaulting to the water talisman setup that I was using. Playtime by month. Apparently I didn't play all that much in July, August, and June, which is a little bit of a surprise. I think, to be fair, I think June, July, August is when I was running through South of Midnight, and that's on Xbox Game Pass, so it's not going to turn up here. Spent the most time playing these with the controller, 9 Souls, Momodora, Otto, Have a Nice Death, Wander Stop. I forgot Otto was this year. I did a bunch of demos this year. Like, a bunch of demos. I think I was doing at least one set of demos every couple of months or so. Which, yeah, maybe not as common as, like, people who regularly do demos, but it was more often than I am used to doing. I think last year I only did, like, 1 or 2 demos. Longest streak. Huh. What and why? I do not remember playing that much time. Oh, although there were a couple of days where I was like on my usual off days because I was like, oh, I want to play the game. So, okay. So I've got this alphabetized in this list over here, and I'll probably also list like I will definitely mention all my thoughts on like how the game was and what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. Okay, so A Way Out. So this game I played with Dagon. There were a lot of fun action moments in it. I really wish there weren't so many like button mashing moments because I feel like I definitely added to the wrist strain that I was feeling with those moments. I am also going to say that, like, both Dagon and I definitely picked apart the ending because both of us thought that the ending was a little silly the way they planned it out. Because, like, this is going to be spoiler heavy, so, oh, you know what? I will add the spoiler tag because I will be talking about spoilers. This game is old, but I'll just FYI, there are spoilers that I'm going to be mentioning. Anyway, the ending basically comes down to Leo and Vincent have dealt with Harvey. They get off the plane only to be surrounded by police. And then it gets revealed that Vincent is actually a secret cop. And then Leo manages to grab Vincent and like threaten to kill him, get them both into a police car. And then there's like that. Then there's a boat chase with a helicopter. And then there is I don't know what factory building they were in, but then there's like a shootout in the factory building. And then it's literally down to like who can button mash faster. And both endings are kind of like, I feel like I might be biased because I played Vincent, but I feel like the Vincent ending is a little better than the Leo one. Cause like, no, I mean, like, they're both kind of bad. Like, one of them dies in one way or another anyway, so it's a good game, I'm not gonna lie. The story needs a little bit of work, but it was a lot of fun. I think it's a solid B. Not like the most amazing story ever or anything like that, but solid B. Solid storyline, solid characters, solid gameplay. I really, really, really liked the hospital sequence where you kept swapping between Vincent and Leo. That was clever and fun. It also showcased a lot of their behaviors. Like Vincent tended to be sneaky, tended to be trying to avoid getting into trouble. Vincent's first instinct was not to immediately try and like punch out the other characters, whereas Leo would constantly go and like try and kill the cops and attack them, blah blah blah. He's very, very hot-headed. So it really showcased both of their personalities and their styles in that one sequence. It was great. I loved it. It was good. Solid B. AC Syndicate. Ooh, I have a lot to say about Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Now, to be fair, I'm a little disappointed with the game because I really loved Assassin's Creed Brotherhood and Revelations. The first games I played were actually Brotherhood and Revelations. I ended up playing 2 on a friend's, technically a cousin's console. And I don't think I even played like the full of 2. I played most of it. But then I played Brotherhood, I played 2, and then I played Revelations, and then I tried playing Assassin's Creed 3, and Assassin's Creed 3 actually like almost made me hate Assassin's Creed. Cause like there's a clip on my channel where I rant about how much I hate Assassin's Creed 3. And I think it boils down to the story was not interesting enough for me to like want to know what the fuck was going on. And the gameplay was very, very buggy and flawed. So I had a lot of issues with AC3. I still have not actually finished AC3. I got so pissed off with the controls and the gameplay and how very boring and irritating the main character was. I found Connor to be such a whiny brat. So I ended up dropping the game entirely. I moved straight to, like, it was many, many years later that I actually got around to doing Black Flag. But the problem with Black Flag is, and I've said this before, it's not an Assassin's Creed game. It is a pirate game with Assassin's Creed flavoring. That's not bad or anything. It was a good game in its own right, and I think it was fairly solid, but like, it was not really what I was hoping for. Yeah, that. It just wasn't what I was hoping for. And then I played AC Unity. And Unity has the stupidest storyline. The DLC is better, storyline-wise. Although I felt like there should have been, like, I don't know, more development in like the friendship between Arno and that little kid, because there was definitely, they were trying to do some sort of like mentor-mentee sort of thing there. Okay, you know what? I haven't talked about AC Syndicate at all. I've been only talking about Unity. So Syndicate, the issue I had with it was more of a story issue than the gameplay issue. Don't get me wrong, there were gameplay issues, like especially the Jack the Ripper DLC. There were so many bugs in that DLC. Like a ridiculous amount of bugs in that DLC. There was one particular bug that was very, very frustrating, because what would happen is you had to take a guy in your carriage at a slow pace and bring him to the cops. But I would bring him to the cops, and then just as my character gets off the stops the car, and the what's his name, Aberline? Aberline comes and to get this witness from the back of the car, and the carriage just explodes.
Thank you, Miss.
Oh, what? How is that my fault? What the fuck just happened? What the fuck? I do not know why that bug constantly happened. The only solutions, like I tried a bunch of different things to see if there was a way to fix that. Like there was no way to stop the carriage from exploding, apparently. What I ended up doing is there's a lamp on the wall, and if you wedge yourself just right underneath that lamp, the carriage won't get flung into the air. It wouldn't get flung into the air, you wouldn't therefore get really low health, and your passenger wouldn't die from the explosion damage. So you wouldn't immediately lose the quest and then have to redo the entire thing, which I had to teleport away, wait a while, and then teleport back for that quest to respawn. It was so irritating. But yeah, you had to wedge yourself in a very specific way under a particular wall lamp, and then your character would fling up in the air and potentially get hurt, but you wouldn't die. And the passenger you were trying to transport wouldn't die, so you could succeed in that quest. But the fact that years later, that particular thing, I'm torn between C and D. It's definitely a C at least, at most, but it is not B. The reason why I don't put it as B, and this, mind you, is a bit of a personal thing. My thing is that story is key. If your story is going to be stupid, I better be having fun with it. If I'm not having fun with it and I'm just constantly feeling like there's too many plot points, too many plot holes, where I'm just like, what the fuck? Why would you do this? What is this? Why is it like this? What is the point of this? Then it would bring my rating of it completely down. I'm going to put it as a C because some of the bugs and some of the things were very hilarious. I especially liked how Jacob was just was the biggest cougar bait. Jacob was the most hilarious thing in this game was the fact that Jacob was just straight cougar bait on multiple occasions. Multiple occasions. So let's see. You had Pearl. Pearl is a lady who is clearly in her late stage. So cougar, straight up cougar, and she was all flirty with Jacob. And then there was that politician's wife who had a psychologist moment with one of the thugs, which I thought was the best scene in the game. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, so I there's a lot of fun moments in the thing, even though I felt okay, so this, mind you, I think this is because it felt a little disjointed in a certain way. I feel like Brotherhood really ties it together very nicely, but from 3 onwards, I am noticing a tradition, a pattern of the fact that these sorts of the Assassin's Creed games, they have a laundry list of baddies, but they never really feel like the baddies connect to each other. I distinctly remember thinking that none of the characters in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, apart from Evie and Jacob and maybe Henry, Greenie, apart from those 3, none of the other characters mattered. You had all of these varied characters with fairly rich backstories, but they were just kind of meh. Why the fuck do you care about Florence Nightingale or about, oh god, the little girl with the pigtails, whose name I forget, the pigtail braids? I forget her name. See, I don't remember the name of any of these characters. These characters do not need to be existing, I guess, if you want your story to have any sort of depth to it. It was just so stupid. It was so stupid. I was sitting there. I distinctly remember going through the list and being all of these characters are forgettable. Some of the villains are memorable, but I finished off Pearl was probably the most memorable of them. I still remember her name, for one. And then there was that other evil Templar lady who I thought was gonna be more of a problem, and then she died, and then we just didn't need to care about her anymore. Like, once she was gone, that was it. She never got mentioned again. It's the same with all of these, like, Templar hit list guys. You never have to think about them again. Even, Crawford Starrick? I think his name is that. I do not remember if I'm even getting it right. I might, but his name was just so, like, weird. He's a crawfish? Like, that's why I remember his name. Because, like, Crawfish Crawford. That was the joke I made, and that's why I remember his name, not even because, like, he's memorable. They tried to do this thing, like, look at how evil and maniacal this guy is. He just randomly killed, like, a messenger for no fucking reason, blah, 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 blah. But honestly, I don't think I cared. I don't think I cared about the guy at all. He was just there. I don't know what his purpose or his motivation was. He was just there. And that is the biggest issue. That is the reason why, like, Assassin's Creed Syndicate is probably not going to go above a C. Maybe I will put this into D. I don't think it's on the same level of as Unity, but Unity I put into E tier last year, so maybe I will just stick this into D tier. Alright, Airscape, The Fall of Gravity. This one, honestly, this one is gonna be an E. Not for the story or for the gameplay, but because the damn thing gave me a headache when I played it. The problem with this is it was actively triggering, like, a vertigo feeling for me, which, you know, not great. Not great that was the case, but this game was making me dizzy all of the time. A lot of the game would force you to, like, spin the game in circles. Spin the map in circles, which would mess with me. And I would end up feeling really, really dizzy. So yeah, definitely going straight into E tier. Rated E for extreme physical, I don't know what word I'm looking for here. Physical disorientation, physical discomfort. There we go. Physical discomfort. Rated E for extreme physical discomfort. I think that's going to be the thing overall. If the game is prone to causing me pain in some way, I'm gonna put it in the E tier. Okay, next up, Anarcute. Honestly, this one was nice. It was very, 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 very cute game. Very, very, like, nihilistic kind of game in its own way. You're triggering a riot. That's what you were doing. You were going around collecting all of these cute little animal creatures and then helping them riot against the evil overlord dominion state, whatever you want to call it. The authoritarian state, if you want to call it that. So, fun game. I'm gonna put it in a C. There's not that, like, not that much depth to the story, but it was a pretty solid story, and it was still a lot of fun to do. I don't think I finished the game, mostly because the way the game was, I think I would have had to replay some of the earlier levels to get, like, higher grades in order to, like, beat the game. In order to unlock later areas, but it's still a game I'd probably suggest to other people, so. Another Crab's Treasure. Now, mind you, I have played Another Crab's Treasure before. It wasn't even like me completing the game this year or anything like that. Another Crab's Treasure actually released a DLC. It released a couple of things in the DLC, and I really liked Another Crab's Treasure. I liked the main game. I think last year, I'm gonna have to look it up. Last year, I put it in B tier. I think I might actually put it into A tier this year. The DLC actually won it over for me because, honestly, it gave me the chance to, like, try out the game once I'd had try out some of the earlier bosses once I had better understanding of the game mechanics as well as a better loadout. So I'm gonna put it into A. It might not be like a high A, but it's still definitely an A. It did take me a while to get into the game. I think if you are not used to Souls-likes, and mind you, the sort of Souls-likes I've gotten into the past are 2D and 2.5D. I've never really managed to get into a proper 3D Souls-like. And I think part of the reason for that was because I actually started off with Nioh, and Nioh is not an easy game to get yourself into. It took a while to get into Nioh. And even then, I think I like got to a point where I was just like, nope, I'm kind of done with this game. I'm not really having fun with it anymore, and I'm not sure my computer's really able to handle it. So, all that, long story short, basically, Nioh kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. So I didn't really feel like going back into another Souls-like, and it took me a while to get used to like the stuff in like the game mechanics in this game. Like I didn't realize that I was severely underleveled for the chopstick boss. Can't remember the name now. It starts with an H, but I can't remember the actual name. I did not realize that I was underleveled for that boss. And because of that, I spent like several hours just kind of running into a brick wall with that boss, metaphorically. So I ended up leaving the game entirely, and I swapped over to Death's Door. And now Death's Door is another Souls-like-esque game in the sense that you have to grind up currency in order to upgrade your character. I actually ended up doing a replay of Death's Door this year, specifically doing an umbrella challenge. Now, the umbrella weapon, the damage on the umbrella weapon is 0.5 times the overall damage. Like, it's got a 0.5 multiplier on it, which means you do half damage with the umbrella. But there's an achievement that you get if you beat the game with the umbrella, which meant that the umbrella wouldn't be my main thing. It would actually be, I'd have to use my spells more often. Yeah, so I got into Death's Door, and Death's Door is what actually got me back into Souls-likes, which kind of makes sense. I was struggling with Another Crab's Treasure, so it like ended up pulling me out of it, and Death's Door brought me back in because I wasn't struggling with it. I was doing a lot better with that one. I was actually feeling like I was making progress. So, yeah, I think looking back on it, Another Crab's Treasure solidly sit in an A. Story is very solid, gameplay is very solid. It took me a while to get into it, but that's just me. That's not everybody. I know a lot of other people were really enjoying the game and were able to get into it much easier than I did, especially with people who are more familiar with Souls-like games, like proper Souls-likes. I'm talking your Elden Rings, the other Souls, the other Dark Souls games, Demon Souls, Nioh and Sekiro and all of that. And they were able to get into it a lot easier than I did. So I think Another Crab's Treasure, overall, I probably judged it a little harshly last year. I think it's a solid A. Atto. Okay, so this game is so obscure. This game is so obscure compared to like all of the other games on the tier list, or just like it kept getting confused for the game Across the Obelisk, because ATO is the common acronym for Across the Obelisk. I don't even know what Across the Obelisk is. I'm gonna say it's probably C tier, to be fair. Story is really good. Gameplay is really good. But I think that for anybody who is not like a hardcore gamer, anything beyond like the easy or normal setting is kind of impossible. Because I did attempt to try and do a speed run, not a speed run, a run of the higher difficulties, because of the fact that there's a couple of achievements tied to the higher difficulties. And I quickly realized I was not going to be able to manage it at all. And I ended up giving up on that, which is why I've put it into a C tier, because I think the timing on some of the stuff in the game is a little weirdly timed, I guess. It's not super casual friendly. And I will admit I'm a little bit more of a casual than I am like a really hardcore gamer or anything like that. Although I don't really know what the classification of that is. Can anybody explain that to me? Genuinely? Because like, what makes you a supposed TM hardcore gamer? Is it games like Silksong and Hollow Knight and Death's Door and all of the other Souls-like games that I've played? Because I played a bunch of them. I have played a bunch of them. I have played a lot of like the more hardcore games. What the fuck makes a hardcore game? But yeah, I'm gonna put it as C. It was good, but there were a lot of like there were some bugs, there were some issues, and the harder difficulties were a little insane. All right, next up on the list, Back 4 Blood. I like Back 4 Blood. I like Back 4 Blood a lot. I think it's a really, really good game, and I'm gonna put it, because I haven't gone too far into like the main campaign, I mostly play with friends, I'm gonna put it as a B, because it's a really nice multiplayer game. And it's just, sometimes it's just fun to like beat up zombies. So yeah, that's just a solid B overall. All right, next up, we have Bendy and the Ink Machine and Bendy and the Dark Revival. Okay, so here's the thing. I have a lot of nostalgia for Bendy and the Ink Machine. This, my playing Bendy and the Ink Machine this year was more of my replay of it, to be fair. I'm going to put it as a solid A. There are some bugs that pop up that can be very irritating, and some of the achievements are a pain in the ass, like that one in Chapter 5, where you have to go and get the ink for the various pipe parts without being spotted by any of the butcher gang. That was such a pain in the ass, mostly because as I went through it, the more time I was spending trying to get that achievement done, the more frustrated I was getting, the more I wanted to rush through it. It was kind of a vicious cycle, I'm not gonna lie. And once I was done with it, it was like, oh my god, thank god. I am gonna say that the second game kind of recontextualizes the first game, because I didn't realize that the cutscene at the end of the first game is meant to indicate that Henry is stuck in a cycle and it's just gone back into the cycle. Like, I didn't realize that was what it was doing. That's not what it read to me. I thought it was like some sort of flashback thing to show how Henry got into that area in the first place, or why he came there in the first place, or something like that. I didn't realize it was meant to indicate that the cycle just repeated. I will say Bendy and the Ink Machine was a pretty good game. I really enjoyed it, and I'm happy to like do more replays of it in the future. That's why I put it into the A tier, because it's one I don't have an issue with repeating. Now, Bendy and the Dark Revival, that's a little bit of a different thing. So it's a very different game to Bendy and the Ink Machine, and I do think it's more of a solid B than a solid A. Okay, so my issue with Bendy and the Dark Revival is Bendy and the Ink Machine. Bendy in the Ink Machine was kind of a terrifying character. I think the biggest reason for that was because Bendy doesn't pop up all that frequently in the first game. In the second game, they kind of made him too common. He kept popping up, to the point where within like, I think 5 times of him popping up, he just started getting very irritating. Very annoying that this guy kept popping up. He wasn't like scary, he was just a pain in the ass. I think the other thing is I think the ending is it's a bit silly. The last sequence in the game where, spoilers, when you are where you turned into Bendy, all of that just feels really silly. But I don't think I would have an issue with replaying Bendy in the Dark Revival, although I am never gonna try and get like all of the achievements, because I didn't initially go in trying to get all of the achievements, but as I was going through and I had a walkthrough up to kind of help me get an idea of where I needed to go for certain things, I started like, because the walkthrough would tell me, hey, there's this achievement you can get here and that achievement where you can get there, blah, 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 etc., etc. I ended up actively trying to complete some of the achievements. So there were a few of the achievements where you had to do a lot of backtracking. And the problem with that is every time you backtrack, you have to manually save. Because if you don't, and you get caught by the ink demon, you will lose all your progress. And that was especially irritating, which just added to the frustration of the ink demon. He was just kind of irritating overall. Like, I kept hoping that there would be more of a scare factor or something, but no, he was just a pain in the ass. So yeah, solid B, good storyline, worth a playthrough once at least, and I don't think you'd regret playing it, especially if you're a BioShock fan. The Bendy in the Dark Revival had more BioShock vibes than Bendy in the Ink Machine did. Bendy in the Ink Machine is more horror. It's more straight horror, more Outlast-esque, whereas Bendy in the Dark Revival was definitely more like a BioShock game. All right, next up, Blacksad. Okay, I'm trying to find the one with the like specifically the image for the game, because Blacksad is actually based on a comic. So this game is a noir-style detective game based on a comic. Now, I have not read the comic, but this story was just genuinely, like, very, very solid. I really enjoyed it. I will recommend it to anybody who likes noir-esque detective games, the point-and-click sort of games where you gotta go around the room and find all of the clues and then piece them together. Really, really solid game. Bit of a sad story because you kind of are left with, like, both of the potential love interests either being dead, jailed, or, well, there is one ending where you can save the side piece, effectively. But it does talk a lot about, like, the more gritty side of human stories. Now, do not be fooled by the fact that all of these characters have, like, animal faces, and our main character looks like Batman and kind of talks like Batman. Despite the fact that all of these characters have, like, all of these animal designs, Blacksad is kind of dark and gritty. It's a doozy of a game. I'm not gonna lie, they literally start off with a hanging body. So it's not for the faint of heart. It is not a kid's game. It is very much a pretty dark, gritty game about drugs, about vices, and about the underworld, the underbelly of, like, the late 60s, 70s, I guess. I'm not sure when this was supposed to be set, but there was a lot of instances of racism, there were a lot of instances of sexism, and there's a lot of instances of just, like, drug users getting, like, the worst end of the deal, effectively, of medical malpractice. It is 100% an 18+ game. Please disregard Kurai's thing. That is actually not the case. The ending is much worse. I feel like Kurai's downplaying how very much of a gut punch that ending can be. But I will 100% suggest it to everybody. There were a couple of bugs I ran into. There was, like, specifically, I did kind of wish it wasn't so prone to forcing you to replay entire cutscenes if you failed, because that was a pain in the ass. But the story is good enough that I'm overlooking it. All right, next up, we have Blood of the Werewolf. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, this is easily in the E tier, maybe even F tier. There were two things that threw off, like, my liking for the game, I guess. First off, there's the fact that, like, okay, so this is a nitpick. It's not really, like, an actual complaint about the game. So feel free to ignore me when I say this. But the music that they use is from Kevin MacLeod. Kevin MacLeod, I think is how you pronounce his name. The very prolific music writer who has released millions upon okay, not millions, but, like, thousands at least of just various music tracks that people can use for free that he's got on his website. You do not have to pay any money to use any of those tracks. You just have to credit him. The man is prolific. And if you have watched any of my YouTube videos, occasionally what I will do is I will use his music in order to provide some background noise for when I do like speed up parts, like if I have to replay a particular section, or if I'm just spending ages trying to run around finding an item in a game, I will play his music in the background of those bits of my videos. And that's the biggest reason why at the end of my videos I will say, this is the music I've used, and this is who it's by and where you can get it and all that. But here's the thing, it used the music that I have used once, but it kept using that music over and over again. And because I recognized the music, that kind of took me out of it too. The controls were atrocious. And more often than not, there would be some weird platforming nonsense. I think it was trying to be a pixel perfect precise platformer, but it ended up being really buggy. 3, the audio balancing was atrocious as well. My issue with the audio balancing was specifically that the cutscenes were super quiet. I mean, a good 20 decibels quieter than the rest of the game. And then the actual game would just deafen you because you would increase the volume in order to hear what the dialogue was. There was no subtitles to figure out what the fuck was going on. So like they're trying to tell you the story in the cutscenes, and it's just too fucking quiet. I couldn't hear what the fuck was going on. More often than not, I would stop the recording, go back into it, and then increase my volume by like 30 points in order to hear what the heck was going on. There's just too many issues with the game. I don't know what they were trying. Like, it does seem like an interesting game because like some of the stuff was kind of cool, like having Frankenstein be, not Frankenstein, like a Jekyll and Hyde character be one boss, and then Dracula being another one where you're fighting on a train and he's like, he turning into a swarm of bats and trying to attack you that way. Inventive and definitely had potential, but my god, there were so many bugs and so many issues and so many instances where you can die in a second, and so many instances where there just weren't enough like checkpoints. But yeah, I had so many issues with it. There's a reason why it's on the Wheel of Punishment. And I don't know if it's the best idea for me to have that on the Wheel of Punishment, but I'm keeping it in there. It's just straight F tier. End of the day, complete F tier. Okay, so this next one is BLUMA. So BLUMA is, actually it's a really cute game. I'm gonna put it in B because it's very short and very simple and it doesn't really have much more to it. But it's a pretty good game. Nice, solid game, cute, puzzly sort of game. The color scheme was very cute as well. There were a couple of like controller nonsense issues, I guess. It wasn't really enough to like take away from my enjoyment of the game, so I will leave as is. I think it's a solid B. I would say it's probably like high C, low B, but I'm gonna keep it as B. I think it's worth its B title. Now this one is one that I actually have only done the demo for. I have not played the main game, and I don't know when the main game is gonna come out. The release date is yet to be announced, so yeah, no clue when this game is gonna come out. But it is a really cute game, and I really did enjoy it, the little bit that I did play of it. I'm gonna keep it as a C because we don't have enough of this game out right now. What I saw was good and enough to make me want to play some more, but for now, it's a C. I don't have enough information on like how the game is gonna be when it's fully released. So yeah. Okay, next up we have Cauldron. Now, I'm gonna put this as a C as well, because this is another game that I only played the demo for, and it does look like the main game it's out. I could buy it. It's cute, and definitely, like, kind of a solid looking game. It's full of, like, these little mini games, basically, where you have to complete different things in order to, like, collect ingredients, and then you can use your ingredients in the potions to, like, make your character stronger and all that. It's a combination mini game to get more power-ups, and also turn-based strategy, which I didn't really see much of. I did a lot of the mini games. I didn't really do a lot of the turn-based strategy. Still, cute game. I think I wouldn't have an issue with, like, getting the actual main game if it ever goes on sale. So next up we have Chonkers. I think I'm gonna put Chonkers into a D, but here's the thing. This is a very subjective listing. Like, the reason why I'm putting it into D isn't really because it's a bad game or anything like that, but because I'm not a big fan of idle games. Like, it's cute. I'm not gonna lie, it's very cute. It was on sale on Steam. I don't know if it's still on sale. I don't think it is. It's still on sale. There is a free demo if you wanted to try that out. It's an idle game. You open it up and then you let the cats spend time leveling up slowly. Or you can click on the cats themselves to play with toys. I don't think you need that much bandwidth for it. It is one of those games you open up and just leave open in the background. You could either click on the Sakura petals to get more money, or you could click like on the cats with the cat toy in order to play cat toy games with them. But it was definitely the wrong game for me to play when I'm dealing with so many repetitive strain injuries. Still gonna put it into a D. I don't think it's my kind of game, but I can see how other people would like it, especially if you're the sort of person who does, like, idle streams. I do know a couple of people who do idle streams, co-work sort of stream where, like, they will have music up in the background, or they'll have something like the plastic duck simulator, so that people can, like, settle in, be chill, maybe do their own work while having the chill music in the background. So yeah, not my kind of game, but still a good game. Ooh, okay, so now here comes one of the really major games this year. I keep flip-flopping on how I feel about Expedition 33, because don't get me wrong, sometimes I listen to the music in the background and I just really, like, feel the urge to go back into the game. And then sometimes I get frustrated because some of the bosses are very difficult and I'm not the greatest at parrying. I kind of struggle with it. So it is definitely a game that is, I guess, the parry system will make it a little bit more difficult. I think I probably would have had an easier time with it if I just stuck to story mode, but I'm stubborn and I decided I was going to go with the Expeditioners mode, and I am refusing to reduce the difficulty of the game. So take that, people who are not as stubborn as me and not prone to, like, cutting off their nose to spite their face like I am. It's a good game. I like it a lot. I really do. The music is great, and I absolutely love the DLC. Like, absolutely love it. I mean, it has a couple of my favorite characters, and it's like, it's the DLC is 100% based around Verso and Eskie, and just like this delve into what a kid might create. And it's so delightful. The music is amazing in the area, and the storyline has also been pretty solid. I've been loving it. I have explored most of the DLC area except for the final boss, and that's because I wanted to tackle the final boss when my face was on camera, and so you guys could see my reaction to it, because I think I'm going to really enjoy it. I think I'm going to really enjoy that. But yeah, Expedition 33, I'm going to put it as a solid A. The reason why I am not putting it as an S, apart from, like, my struggles with the parry system and how some of the bosses felt just, like, too overwhelmingly powerful for my liking, The reason I have it as an A is because I guess at this point it's just a theory, but I have a feeling I know exactly where the ending is going to be of Expedition 33, and I don't think I'm going to like the ending. Like, I think it's going to be a good ending, but I don't think it's going to be the ending that I want it to be, because I think I see where it's going. And now this I'm going to put in spoiler. The reason why I don't want to put Expedition 33 into S tier is because I think I know where the ending is going. I think what's gonna happen is they're going to expel Papa from the canvas, but then Leil is going to be like, we don't need to destroy the canvas. And Verso is gonna be like, no, we should, because if you stay here, you're gonna die. And Leil is gonna go like, but if I leave, I'm just gonna be stuck in a disabled body. And I think that's where it's going with the story. And I think it's gonna be going down to a fight of, maybe it's gonna be like, the team gets split and like, I'm against half of it. Like, it'll be Verso and maybe Lune, or maybe Monoko against Leil and the rest of the team, or something like that. I kind of figured. I figured there's two endings. You get to pick between the two sides. I'm gonna guess that you're gonna pick between the two sides. If I'm right about that, and if once I get to that point, what I will do is I'm going to say I'm going to pick this side, and then I'm going to go look up the YouTube video of the other side. But yeah, I think that's where it's going to go. I think it's going to go down to a showdown between Verso's side and Leil's side, and then I'm going to get an ending where if Leil wins, then they're stuck in the canvas and Leil slowly dies. Whereas if I get stuck if I pick Verso's side and Verso wins, then we'll get the ending where everybody in the canvas disappears and Leil has to come to terms with her life. Okay, so established, Expedition 33 is going to sit solidly at A. The music is solid, the story is solid, everything is solid. It's a really good game. I would highly recommend it. It won Game of the Year for a very good reason. It won so many awards at the Game Awards for a very good reason. It really deserves those awards. It's just my personal pet peeve about, I guess, the fact that I'm not able to get into the parry system as easily. I still struggle with it. It always takes me a little bit to get back into it. And the fact that I think I know where it's going. I think I know what the ending is going to be, even though I haven't finished the game yet. And I think I'm not really going to like the ending. Maybe I will like it, but I don't think I'll like it enough to move it out of the A tier, I guess. But I guess we'll see. Maybe I'll eat my words once I get to the end of it. Maybe it'll be such like an epic ending that I just will be perfectly fine with the ending and move it up to the S tier. We'll see. Next up, Coral Island. I don't think I've played enough of this to really know where it's supposed to sit. I think the stamina bar thing actually is throwing me off a little bit, because I've played enough Stardew Valley and Wildflowers and other games where there's a stamina bar that stamina bars actually irk me, especially in the early game. And so I haven't really been able to get into this game, even though I did enjoy some of the aspects of it, which is why it's sitting at a C right now, and not any higher at the moment. Maybe it will eventually. If I play more of it, I might move it up. But for now, it's just a C. Okay, so next up, I already have this one over here. And that is Dave the Diver. So Dave the Diver is the next one on the list. I think I'll end up putting it in the same place as last year, which is S tier. I played it this year because they released a DLC. Specifically, they released a DLC crossover with Yakuza, and it was such a good game. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the DLC so much. And I still have fond memories of the game. And the story's really good, the gameplay's really good. Like, sometimes I'll be like, okay, when I'm thinking of like chill games, I probably would go back to Dave the Diver 100 times over. I'd probably replay Dave the Diver 100 times over, because I really enjoyed the game. And my god, those cutscenes are hilarious, and I still love that they brought that same spice and zest to the DLC. And I liked the Yakuza game that I played. I played Yakuza 0. I really liked that game a lot. And genuinely, I think it deserves to be in S tier. May not be everybody's sort of game, but it was a lot of fun. I liked it. Okay, so next up, we have Death's Door, which is another one I'm just going to put directly into S tier. There's a lot of hidden lore in Death's Door. A lot of it, since your main character doesn't really speak, and there's not necessarily that much dialogue in the game, a lot of it is context clues you get from things strewn around the map, or like the little collectibles you can pick up. So I really liked the story of Death's Door. I really liked the various characters and this idea of like immortality turns you insane. I thought it was kind of cool. I mean, it's not a new take on immortality, but it is definitely a solid take on immortality. So yeah, that's cool. I liked it. I could repeat a lot of the stuff that I said last year about Death's Door. It's one of the games that got me back into Souls-likes. It's a game that got me back into kind of Metroidvania-style games. And I will happily replay this game over and over again. The music is still very, very solid. I like listening to it on my downtime. It's very good working music, too. So yeah, that. Just another one I'm slotting right into the S tier. All right. Next one is a game that is probably going to be there every year on my tier list, and that is Dorfromantik. Again, I think I'm just going to put it into the same place I had it last year, but I'm putting it back into the B tier. It's a solid kind of chill game. It's a tiling game. You get these hexagonal tiles, and the tiles have various different things on them. You can't see it very well over here, but you'll have like part of the tile will have a couple of houses, part of the tile will have like some trees, part of the tile will be like a little bit of a waterway or like a train track or these fields over here. And you have to try and line up the tiles so that you complete different quests. So some of the quests will be like connect 40 houses in a row or more than 40 houses. You'll either get exact numbers or you'll get that number plus, which means you need to go above that. You need to reach that number or go above it. So yeah, it'll be like connect 40 houses or 40 fields or 2,000 trees. And it can get very big. I can sink like easily half an hour into just one round. And it's my go-to game for when I don't have, like, for example, if I am playing a game on Sunday. Normally on Sundays I have my collab, but my collabs start in the evening. So I will play a game beforehand and then I'll swap to the collab. Sometimes I will finish a game earlier than expected and then I'll just swap over to Dorfromantik because I can sink a couple of hours into that while I'm waiting for the collab time to come around. So yeah, it's my go-to chill downtime game. I've also played it a lot offline. So yeah, that. And yeah, it deserves its B standing considering how often I come back to it. It's maybe not like what everybody would choose as a chill game. I'm imagining a lot more people would be interested in something like a farming sim. But I think it's a fairly solid game for anybody who wants like a game like, say, Mini Motorways or any of the dogs arranged neatly or cats arranged neatly. The ones where you have like a bunch of different like Tetris-looking dog shapes and you gotta make them fit in the box. So things like that. It's a solid game. I really enjoyed it. And I'm probably going to enjoy it for the rest of my life. It's a very easy game to return to. Alright, so next up, we have Duck Detective, the Ghost of Glamping. Honestly, if this developer comes out with 20 more Duck Detective games, I will be so happy. I will be so very glad to play the games, all 20 of them, even if they just turn out to be very, very similar on so many levels. I kind of want to put it into S tier because I just really love the game so much, but in all honesty, it's probably just an A tier. Because, to be fair, the puzzles are a little on... The puzzles are a little on the simple side, and you can brute force a lot of the puzzles if you're running into issues and you can't figure it out. But it's a lot of fun. The dialogue. The dialogue is the best. Everything has its own voice acting in it. So, like, you get so much idea of, like, the various characters and how they are. But yeah, Duck Detectives. Solid little game, a lot of fun. It's very short. It's not a particularly long game. You can beat it in like 1-2 hours. And the puzzles are not like super complex or anything. But it's so cute and so much fun, and the dialogue is so witty, and I love it so much. So next up, we have Fields of Mistria. Last year I put it in B tier, and I think it still deserves B tier. I think my biggest issue with Fields of Mistria right now is I keep running into a wall of content. The game is still in the process of getting updated, so there's a lot that you can explore at the moment, but there's also a lot that's being hinted at that they haven't yet released. And I think even though we had a very big update at the end of last year, at the end of 2025, and meaning like September or something, September, October, somewhere around there, there's still a lot that needs to be done. They did release more characters, another romanceable, and there's supposed to be some more updates. I just haven't looked into it because it's been mostly bug patches and I think maybe some content updates, but I was gonna wait until the next big one before I tried it out again. It's definitely a game I have no issue like going back into and just playing hours and hours and hours of. It has a very Stardew Valley vibe with magic, I guess, but it's not fleshed out enough, and I think it needs more time, basically. I forget if it's like early access or if it's out, but it has this huge roadmap that it's planning on doing, I guess. So, okay, technically this game is called Golf with Your Friends, but I have always called it Golf with Friends. I think the thing I said about it last year holds up this year as well. Huh, I don't have Golf with Friends in here. That's a little wild. Oh, no, I do. It's in S tier. Okay, I'm gonna put it into S tier as well. This is another game where if you are playing with people who you are really good friends with, it is a lot of fun. I think even if you're like playing with people you're not super familiar with, it's still a lot of fun. But yeah, Golf with Friends, solid S. I've had a lot of fun in that game. I am not denying that probably a good chunk of it is nostalgia, but I could open up that game and play it anytime with friends. It's a good game. I like it. All right, next up we have Have a Nice Death, which is a game I'm really enjoying. I did have to take a break from it for a while because of the wrist pain, repetitive strain injury stuff. I think I'm gonna put it into B tier. Okay, I'm gonna say this. The game does get a little on the dark side. Like, there are some dark themes in it. You're literally talking about the various ways you can die. The whole point of the game is you have to traverse through various levels in order to figure out who's been making your life difficult as Death, the Grim Reaper. And each of the levels corresponds with a particular way of dying, or like a particular cause of death. So you have things like the usual, like war is one of the causes of like the causes of death that the levels are based on. But you also have overeating as a cause of death, or like food-related deaths, I guess. You also have things like mental issues, drug abuse as one of the levels. There's pollution as one of the causes of death that one of the levels is based on. I have not been to all of the levels yet. I've gotten, I think, fairly close to the end. It's a very Hades-like game, so that sort of roguelike sort of game. But yeah, Have a Nice Death, fairly solid game. I am definitely putting it in a B tier because I have not yet reached the end of it, but I do think it's a pretty good game. If you like Hades, you'll probably like Have a Nice Death, but I will warn you, it is not kind about some of the more gruesome ways to die. Heck, there's an entire, like, you beat one of the bosses and their own chainsaw digs into their own face. And then they continue to talk to you while their chainsaw is like splurting blood, while their face is splurting blood. To be fair, that boss is technically a robot, but still, it's not necessarily for the faint of heart, but it does have a lot of comedy moments. And it really does kind of bring the whole overwork and kind of like a bit of a morbid sense of humor. Good if you like that sort of stuff. All right, our next game is Headliners. Now, this is another one. I think I have said this about like Lethal Company and Phasmophobia and quite a few of the other multiplayer games I played last year. If you do not have a good set of friends playing with you, you won't necessarily have it. Like, I feel like these games are the friend group that you're playing with does make or break your experience with it. And I'm sure you could probably find your own enjoyment without needing a group of friends with you. Like, I'm pretty certain you can play Lethal Company, Headliners, R.E.P.O, all of those games. You can play them solo, and they're probably pretty decent solo as well. Phasmophobia as well. But like, I think what really makes the game is if you have a good set of friends with you. Like, I played Headliners with Lizargo and Dagon. We had a lot of fun. There's a lot of like clipped moments of just all of the shenanigans we got up to. It's fun, and I feel like it's more fun with good friends. Okay, so this next one, I'm not gonna lie, the ending made me a little annoyed. And mind you, it's kind of a pet peeve as to why the ending made me annoyed. But yeah, It Takes Two, the ending actually irritated me. And I know the reason why it irritated me is not something that everybody is going to understand or feel equally as irritated. So take my review of It Takes Two with a grain of salt, like a hefty grain of salt. I come from a musical family, and for a good period of my life, my mother, who was the musician in the family, really wanted me to get into Carnatic music and sing on a stage and actively perform concerts and such. And I didn't really like doing that, not because I don't like singing, because I really do like singing, and not because I mind performing in front of a crowd, because I can manage. I don't have straight up stage fright or anything like that. I get shy, but that's about it. But that aspect of kind of being forced to sing on stage in front of people and practice for that and prepare for that, it definitely took all enjoyment out of the whole thing for me. And it also made me a lot more harsh towards people who force other people to sing. And that's what happens at the end of It Takes Two. She spends the entire, that particular chapter, she spends the entire chapter saying, oh no, I couldn't possibly sing, I don't want to sing, I've got stage fright, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden at the end, she's kind of forced to sing and she's fine with it all of a sudden. And that really pissed me off. The game is a lot of fun, don't get me wrong. The mechanics are solid, the story is solid, it's just that one particular thing irritated me specifically. And I was talking about this with Dagon at the end of the game, and I do believe I mentioned then, I'm going to mention it again. The thing that I think would have made it a lot less egregious would be if it hadn't been the book that convinced May to sing on the stage. If it had been Cody, or if May had shown any, progress in her reluctance reducing, over the course of the chapter, but that didn't happen. So the ending felt a little rushed because there was no development in that. And I don't think they meant for me to take it the way I did. But my own personal history and the way the character just kind of flip-flopped on the thing, where she herself was like all the way up until the end was like, I don't want to sing. And then the book convinces her. After all this time, the book has been an antagonistic presence in the entire thing, barely listening to them, constantly causing them to get into boss fights. And also, I feel like if Cody, the husband, if Cody was the one to convince May, the wife, to go ahead and sing on the stage, or like encourage her all throughout the thing, and like I think they were trying to go for that, but I don't think they did it enough. If they had done that, it would have been a lot better, but for some reason they gave that encouragement role to the book, and the book has been a character that I absolutely hated throughout the entire game, because he's actively antagonistic towards this couple. It's like he's supposed to be the couple's therapist, but he was being such a dick. Also, I take issue with the fact that the book was like, yeah, sure, leave your 8-year-old daughter at home without any supervision, and then expect them to be perfectly fine. So yeah, the game is a lot of fun. There's a lot of really cool mechanics, and it probably deserves to be in the A tier, but that ending pissed me off, and so it's B tier. Next up is Kamaeru. Okay, so I mostly played the demo for this, and I thought it was gonna be like either an idle game or a clicker game, and it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. There were bits of it that felt a little repetitive in the demo that I did play, but I think it probably has its own niche. It's just not my niche. So I'm gonna put it into the C tier, but that's more because I don't think it was my kind of game. So next up, Left 4 Dead 2. I don't think I've played enough of it to know if I like the game or not. Like, we kept running into a bit of a brick wall when it came to one of the quests. We ended up like not continuing on the quest anyway because of the difficulty spike. So I've only played like one stream's worth of this game. I probably would rank it higher. Maybe I'll put it in B for now, because I was enjoying it. I was enjoying playing the game. So it could just be that it, like, the more I play of it, the more I'm going to enjoy it. I guess we'll have to see. But I don't think I've played nearly enough to really have a proper ranking on it. So it's B tier for now. So this next game, I really, really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, it was very cute, and the storyline is absolutely solid. This game is Little Kitty Big City. You play as a cat who accidentally fell out of his apartment window, and you're trying to get back up to your apartment. And you have to slowly get enough, rank up your power in order to climb back up. But you also get to help a plethora of various animal characters across the board as you're playing this game. I'm gonna put it into an A. It's a solid A. Now I think about it, it's probably an S. It's a really cute game. The storyline is adorable. The characters are adorable. The various quests that you have to do are adorable. It's just adorable across the board. I think it's S tier. If you are a fan of cats and you like stories with cats in them, you should play Little Kitty Big City. It's a very, very cute game. All right, next up. This game has a very similar vibe to Duck Detective and I guess Little Kitty's Big City in its own right. Little Problems. Actually, Duck Detective is a good comparison. It's a very interesting story. You have to go through, you get a scene that you have to explore and pick out a bunch of clues and then figure out what's going on in the scene that you're seeing. It's mostly about human relationships, sibling relationships, parental relationships, so on and so forth. A lot of the clues are based on that. So like, there's one where it's like, we went to the library, I got this book, this person got that book, this person got this book, and you have to go through and figure out the various clues that they have on their person in order to figure out which book has to go to which person. It's very much in the same style as Duck Detective, where you're basically going around looking for clues, but the clues are literally just like words, and then you have to put the words into a Mad Lib sort of paragraph that explains the situation. I'm actually gonna put it in C tier, because while the storyline is cute, it's fun, it was also a little bit obtuse at times. I don't know if it was just because I was playing this game when I was already like dealing with a lot of mental fog and therefore wasn't really able to figure out what it was saying, but I was struggling with a lot of the puzzles. I ended up looking up some of the solutions just because my brain just wasn't connecting the dots. So yeah, C tier. I'm not sure if that was me or if that was the game itself, but I was struggling to get through it. Okay, so this next one is one that was, like, I watched somebody else play it. Actually, I specifically watched Galder play it. And I was intrigued and I wanted to play more of it. And then I found out that there was a demo, so I tried out the demo. And then I found out that the full game is actually available on Game Pass. So I will be returning to this game at some point. But I don't really have all that much in it right now to really give it a ranking. So it's going to be sitting in C tier for now, if only because I do not know how much I like this game yet, because I really only played like an hour's worth of it, which really isn't enough. So I think C tier is quickly becoming I haven't played enough of the game, so it's sitting in C tier rank, because barring little problems and Auto and Anarcute, I think everything else is literally, I don't know enough about this game, we're putting into C tier. But from what I've seen of the game thus far, it does seem very cute. It does look like it'll be very satisfying. So yeah, I think I'm going to be looking forward to playing more of it when I get around to it. Although that will probably only be like solidly into next year. But yeah, Little Rocket Dog's going to have to be a C. Next up, Lost Nova. Now, I only ended up playing Lost Nova this year because I got a little time between the first part of stream and the collab part of stream on a Sunday. So I ended up playing a little Lost Nova and gathering up enough gems to get like the last hat, which was like super expensive. I'm trying to see if because I think the last time I played Lost Nova was actually 2023. Maybe. I don't think I tier list it. I really liked Lost Nova when I played it. I'm gonna put it in a B though. Like, solid game. I don't know if I'd replay it necessarily. I think half the fun is playing it once, sort of thing. So yeah, I'm putting Lost Nova into B. That's more because I enjoyed it when I played it. I don't really remember enough of it. It was a good game, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so the next one. I know a lot of people liked this game, but this actually, like, was one of the things that ended up triggering a little bit of a RSI situation. It just wasn't as severe as my most recent bout, I guess. So I'm gonna put this into tier D. And the biggest reason for that is just because this game was a little too stressful for my liking. And I don't know if it necessarily deserves the too stressed tier, but yeah, not my sort of game, and I don't know if I'd necessarily recommend it to other people unless they are the sort of people who like that sort of game. Like, I feel like most of the other ones I might recommend to people, even if that's not necessarily their sorts of games. Like, all of tier B and tier A, I would definitely recommend to people, even if it's not their kind of game. I don't know if I'd recommend this. It was painful. I remember it being a pain in the ass. Okay, so this next one is a game I picked up specifically for Halloween because I wanted one spooky-esque themed chill game that I could play during October. And that is Love Ghostie. I don't know if I want to put this as a B or a C. I think my biggest reason why I'm kind of stuck between the two is the fact that Love Ghostie is a kind of game where half the fun of it is to see all of the different permutations, but I think once you've seen all of the permutations, you won't necessarily have any need or desire to go back into the game. It's cute, don't get me wrong. It's a lot, it has its own fun, but I don't know how much replayability it has. Like, I feel like once you get through all of the different iterations of couple combos that you could get in that game, that was probably the end of it. I don't know if I'd ever plan on, like, going back and replaying the game. I don't think I would. So, like, it's a one and done sort of game. Okay. Maid of Sker. I'm gonna put it as a solid A. I liked the game. I liked the storyline. It was very interesting, and it was a pretty good horror game. Good storyline, good overall ambiance. Definitely a couple of very scary characters. I could see how it might be a little too slow-paced for some people, because one of the things is you can't really run in that game. It's like Quiet Place. You have to be quiet, so you have to sneak around. It'd be interesting to see how people would like speedrun it. It's a good game. I think it deserves like an A tier. Next up is Momodora Moonlit Farewell. Honestly, I think it's a solid ending to the Momodora series in general. I liked it. I think it was definitely like less of a stressor than some of the earlier games, because I do know the earlier games, if you don't reach the ending in a certain amount of time, you actually end up getting the bad ending. And Momodora Moonlit Farewell does not do that. It also has like a little boss rush area, which I was enjoying playing. So yeah, I'm gonna put that solidly into A tier. I enjoyed the game. It's your very standard kind of what's the word? Very standard Metroidvania kind of game with a lot of cute graphic moments. Also a very interesting, I guess, loadout setup that I think if I wanted to go back into the game and I maybe swapped around which cards I was constantly using, like what my main cards were for my loadout, I would definitely enjoy playing more of that game. I don't think I'd call it a hack and slash. It's definitely a solid Metroidvania. Okay, so this next one, to be fair, it's a game I had on the list last year as well, because I played a little bit in the end of 2024, and then I played a little bit at the beginning of 2025, and that is Monster Hunter Wilds. It's specifically the playtest, and I think last time I put it in B tier, but I haven't really felt the need to like go back to that game series. So I think I'll just continue keeping it in B tier. It doesn't help that I haven't really felt the need to go back into Monster Hunter in general. I don't think that game grabbed me in the same way that a lot of the other games that I've played. Like, it definitely hasn't grabbed me the same way that Once Human has, for example. Because Once Human, I don't mind like playing on my own, just like going around collecting things and maybe doing a couple of side quests. I don't really get the same desire to do that for Monster Hunter World or Wilds. Don't get me wrong, I think I like watching other people play it, and I think I liked the TLDR is I think I need to play more of it before I can really make a decision, which is I've put it into B tier because I did enjoy the run that I did of it, but I think I do need more to really actually have a solid idea of where I wanted to tier it. Yeah, that's just it. I don't know if I'm a fan of those games or not. I don't think I am. Now, my time at Portia, I want to like this game. I'm not sure I'm really able to get into it. So it's another C tier. I think the biggest issue is like it's not really grabbing me the way I want. Like it's not grabbing my attention the way I want. I don't know if it's just because I need to play more of it and explore more of the storyline, or if it's just really not the game for me. Okay, so here's a game that I think I ended up only really, truly liking this game at the end of the game, and that is Nine Souls. So this, despite its cartoony image, it's a fairly dark game. Like, I'm pretty sure if I go in a little closer, you can see already how dark of a game it can be. So yeah, I'm a little torn between S tier and A tier, because I will say I didn't expect for a game to make me emotional like Nine Souls did, but Nine Souls really did make me kind of emotional at the ending there. And I will say the ending won me over. Also, the fact that I think this may be more of a me thing, but it took me so long to understand the parry system in the game. And I think that was my fault because I went straight for the one where I wouldn't have to worry about the parry system as much. My timing got so precise with the final battle because that final battle, I'm not gonna lie, that final battle, it's a bit of a bitch to get through. It's a very, very intensely, like, you gotta focus, you gotta be careful with your parries and everything kind of game. But it was still really good, and I really enjoyed it, and I fully intend on doing a replay where I'm using like the standard talisman system rather than the auto talisman system. So yeah, that's something I'll be doing in the future. Don't know when, but I will be doing that in the future. Now here's another automatic S. Now, speaking of games that make me emotional, Okami is another game that has gotten me sobbing. Well, not sobbing, but like definitely feeling the tears. I really enjoyed Okami. Okami is like one of my favorite games. This is one of the first games I played on stream. I played it when it first came out on Steam. Although I do know it's been like out on a console for a while. I forget which console. I think it was like the GameCube maybe? I'm not sure. But Okami is always going to be like a higher tier game for me, just because it's got such solid story, solid music, solid game mechanics, solid. Well, I'm coming back to the story again because like, oh my god, that story. Holy shit, that story. And I'm so excited for whenever Okami 2 comes out. I still need to finish off my replay of Okami. We got up to past the 2 clockwork owls. If you know, you know. If you don't worry about it. So I still have like the final boss to get through. Alright, our next game is Once Human. Now I think this is another one I'm going to put solidly into B tier. There's a lot of glitches that we've come across recently. I might move it down. No, I'm gonna keep it in B tier. Like, I have found myself really enjoying playing the game, even on my own, just like doing kind of all of the stereotypical farming sim things that you can get in that game. But I am gonna say that this game has, since it gets regular updates, it does also get regularly bugs in its own way. And the too many tasks all at once thing that pops up every now and again if you accidentally like open a window instead of opening a chest. Yeah, that's irritating. I'm not gonna lie. So solid B. I am enjoying it. I probably will continue to play it on and off however I want. We haven't tried any of like the bosses yet recently, even though we've done like 2 sessions. I think maybe I'll feel a little bit more starry-eyed for it if I get around to getting to any of the bosses. We kind of went for a very difficult scenario with the winter scenario. I kind of regret that. I put Once Human in the B tier because again, it's a solid game. It does run into a couple of bugs, but I haven't really lost my like enjoyment of it. Okay, I think this next one is also going to be another B tier one. For the same reason, like, why Monster Hunter Wilds is a B tier one, to be fair. And that is Peak. And it's the same reason as, like, why I've been enjoying Monster Hunter Wilds is a B tier, why Left 4 Dead 2 is currently a B tier, even though I haven't played much of it, why things like Back 4 Blood is a B tier, and so on and so forth. And it's because this game is great if you have good friends. So like if you have a good team to play with, you've got good friends who make it fun, then it's fun. The next one is equally the same, actually. The next one is Phasmophobia, that's also a B for the same reasons. Because if you have a good set of friends to play with, it's a good game. I can imagine if you had like somebody, like, I don't know, if you're trying to play Phasmo with your enemies, I don't know how well that's gonna go. But Phasmo also has like a lot of like solo potential. Okay, So this next one, I haven't played a lot of. Maybe if I'd played more of it, it would be... I'm gonna put this one into B, I think. And it's Ace Attorney. I literally only played through like the first case. I don't know if I was intending on playing more. It's just the game I picked up on the day because I finished another game and I was like, I need a game to play. So I played Ace Attorney. It's a solid game. I thought it was a good game and I probably would enjoy it more if I played more of it. I just never got back around to it. I will probably eventually get back to more of Ace Attorney. I just haven't yet, I guess. So yeah, it gets to sit in B. Portal 2 is our next game. I'm going to put it directly into A tier. Now, I have it, mind you, this is specifically the co-op section of Portal 2. I've never played like the main Portal games. I still need to get around to doing that. That is on my list. I just haven't gotten around to playing them yet, which I think is the truth for a lot of older games. I might, next year, what I might do for Nostalgia November is I might play Portal as the Nostalgia November game. But this is a solid A. This is not the first time I've played the Portal 2 co-op, technically the second time, and it's still fun both times around. I didn't really remember all of the solutions to the puzzles, so it was fun, like, rediscovering the solutions. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely a game I would suggest to other people who like those sorts of puzzly co-op games, so yeah, that. Oh, this one is one that might be a little bit of a unpopular opinion. I'm gonna put this into tier D. And I think it's, like, I have mentioned this when we were looking through the Steam recap, but the reason why Project Zomboid is a tier D for me is because this is not a game I will play on my own. It's a little too stressful for me to want to play it on my own. This is a game that I absolutely can only play with friends. In which case, it's going to 100% be because I'm playing for my friends rather than playing, like, for myself. So, yeah, that. Okay, so this next one is another demo that I tried out, and I am gonna say the game is interesting, but I don't think it's the game for me. This game is Rage in Peace. Basically, your character is gonna die today, and you are trying to get all the way home so you can die peacefully in your bed. But it's a rage game, so it is literally like Cat Mario or like any of the games where like the game is the level itself is trying to trick you, so you end up on spikes or you walk into a laser shark or spooky ghost girl. It's a rage game. It's a rage game. It's not the game for me, which is why it's going into tier D, but it's actually not a bad game if you like rage games. There does seem to be an interesting story surrounding this guy trying to get home and die in peace. Like, he's like, I'm gonna die, I get that, but let me get home and just die in my bed. Please, thank you. That's his mood throughout the entire thing. Which is fun. I think it's a good game for if you want to watch somebody else rage, but I don't think, I'm not a fan of raging myself, so I don't really like this sort of game. But that doesn't mean it's a bad game, it's just not the game for me. Alright, our next game is R.E.P.O. So this one, I think I wouldn't mind playing this on its own. Like, I feel like it's a game that I could probably put on the level of Gulp with your friends, with like a little bit more of an adrenaline rush to it. I wouldn't necessarily like put it in S tier, but I think it could be a solid A, if not a solid B. I think it's a solid A because I did have a lot of fun when I played it. And I think it's another game that I wouldn't mind jumping into playing rounds with other people, so. There's not really much story to it, so it's not even like a story-based decision. I just had fun, so I put it in the A tier. So our next game is another one that I tried out the demo for with the purpose of trying to see if I want to play more of the game. But I'm gonna say the demo did not wow me enough. Like, I feel like there's a lot of potential to Research Story, which is the game we're talking about here. Research Story there's a lot of potential to reach the story, but the days were too short for me to feel like I had made any progress in the short amount of time you are allowed to play in the demo. In the demo, you can only play 5 days worth of in-game gameplay, like 5 in-game days of gameplay. But the days were way too short for me to feel like I had made any sort of progress in the game. I don't know if the main game is gonna have... Oh, jeez. I want to like this more. I don't think I can, because the days are way too short. Like, I felt like I barely got anything done before I'd have to run back home. So yeah, I'm keeping it in D. I don't think I can justify keeping it in C. I would, like, again, way too short. The days were way too short to get anything done in the game, so it was just kind of pointless as a demo, in my opinion. It's like getting a single day of Stardew Valley in the equivalent Stardew Valley demo. And I feel like Stardew Valley had longer days than this did. I feel like by the time I got up to one particular location, it was already like halfway through the day and I'd only have enough time to like get all the way back. Oh joy, it's the one I have been waiting years for. Can you guess? Can you guess what the next game is? Yup, Silksong is the next game. Automatic austere. I was worried that the game would not live up to the hype that I had built in my head for it. It did. It 100% lived up to the hype that I built in my head. I still haven't finished Silksong, but I think I can. I think I'm very certain that it's still, like, the ending is still gonna be an S tier ending for me. We'll see how I feel about it next year when I do the 2026 wrap up, but right now, S tier. One of the ones I'm very solidly on. Even when I was like struggling with bosses in Silksong, more often than not it was because I just was too underleveled for it. But apart from Grohl, I have never felt like any boss in Silksong has made me feel just like done with it all. Grohl was the only one where I was just like, okay, nope, I'm done with this boss. I'm just glad it's done. I still feel frustrated. But apart from Grohl, all of the other bosses, it felt very satisfying to beat them. Ooh, okay. So here is another game that I think is a solidly an S tier game, in my opinion. And that is South of Midnight. South of Midnight is the other Game Pass game that I played this year. And it's such a good, solid game. The story is very solid. The various outfits and designs that you see in the game are very solid. I know some people weren't particularly happy with the ending of South of Midnight, but I think it was still a solid game. I think the ending was still like a good ending and one that makes sense, both from an aspect of like looking at the character of our main character. So you follow the story of Hazel Flood, who has awoken to a power during a hurricane. And she's trying to reconnect, basically find her mother because their house was swept away during the hurricane and the mother was trapped inside during the time. I was so worried it was going to end up being like everything was a dream or she died or something like that sort of story. It was not. If you don't mind the minor spoiler there. It did not end up being that, but it was like such a deep story, going through so many of the it talks about some of the folk tales of the South. It talks about some of the struggles of the South, specifically of Black people in the South, like the sort of stuff they went through. It talks about slavery, it talks about the Underground Railroad, it talks about, like, there's just so many good, deep storylines to follow in South of Midnight. Pretty much every chapter focused on a different folklore with its own kind of tragic tale as the base of it. It's such an excellent story. The way they've crafted it, the various styles, the fact that like you would swap between like an ink on paper animation style to a kind of almost claymation looking animation style to a more smooth, proper 3D animation style. It was so solid. I loved it. I love this music as well. I still have several of the songs on my just general background playlist. Two-Toed Tom is still a banger. So yeah, solid S across the board. I will recommend it to everybody. It is on Game Pass. If you have the opportunity to play it, I would highly suggest you play it. It's such a good game. Moving on to our next game, Spilled. So Spilled is a game I actually started off with the demo and found that I really liked the demo and decided to play more of the game. For the price point and the size of the game, the length of the game, I think it really does deserve the price point that it has. And the length of the game is not very long, but it's so like, it's chill in its own way. It is a cleaning game, effectively. You will play this little tugboat-looking character, and your job is to basically go around the map and clean up oil spills and soda cans, and there's even a boss fight at the end of it, which honestly is a little funny. It's such a cute game. I'm keeping it in S tier. It was fun. I played it through 1.5 times, basically, because I went back to try and get a couple of the achievements that are only available in the earlier bits of the game. So did all that, really enjoyed it. I even like replayed the game, like, not actually, I guess it was more like 1.75 times I played over the game. Still, fun game, really enjoyed it. Would highly suggest if you wanted like a small game that is fairly cheap and kind of fun. So, also all the little animals we rescued with the variety of different names you got for all of these various animals. I don't think you have any, like, I guess you didn't see the froggy here. On top of that, you can see a bunch of different creatures in the water as you're going around cleaning places up, and I'm not gonna lie, it's so cute and peaceful and cool. Okay, so speaking of games that we were playing demos for, we actually got the playtest. I forget who told me about, I think Dagon was the one who told me about this game, and that there was a playtest that we could try out. So this game, Star Rupture, really cool kind of game. I was enjoying it. I would love to play more of it, even though I've only played effectively a demo. We only had like a single day to check out the playtest because we, the only time all three of us got like time to go check out the playtest was on a Sunday. So yeah, schedules and all that. And that was literally like the second last day of the playtest. I suppose I could have gone back in and played a little bit more on the Monday, but it's a fun game. Honestly, if you are familiar with Once Human, it's kind of like Once Human in its playstyle. Kind of a cross between Once Human and maybe something like No Man's Sky. Only thing is you don't travel from world to world. You're on an alien planet, you're mining the alien planet, and you have to send stuff back to the various companies that want the various resources on this planet. There's also something called ruptures, where the nearby star basically blasts the entire planet with radiation, killing everybody who is not like in a safe place, basically. It'll kill like the ground as well, like the various plants and animal life and whatnot on the planet. And then you have to go and like once you have to hide until the planet cools down, and then once the temperature has dropped enough that you can like leave your hidey hole, you then have to wait a little bit for the planet to recover and regenerate itself. And then you can just go straight back to collecting whatever ingredients or like crafting materials that you want. There are these various bases that will get overrun with alien spiders. And the alien spiders have an ability to take out your shield. So you got your regular health bar, but you also got a shield on top, like Fortnite. And so you have to avoid the spiders, kill them, and then collect all of the resources in that base. And each of the bases have like a little bit of a lore dump. So like Subnautica, where you have to go from like nodule to nodule and get a little bit more lore as you go. So like that. Was really enjoying it. I would love to see more of it. It is. I don't think it's out yet though. It's definitely a game I put on my list of co-op games. Okay, so the next game on the list is one that's also not out yet. It's Starsand Island. Now, I think I'm gonna put this in C, because what I've played thus far is a demo. I don't think I have explored enough of like the game, even in the demo, to like be able to say if I really like the game or not. And the other thing is the fact that this game probably has the most intensive demo I've ever seen. Now, the best way I have to describe Starsand Island is it's your general farming sim kind of game with like various skill trees that you can flesh out, I guess. I don't know what word I want to be using here. Like basically skill trees that you can explore and like level up in and all that. Where it'll be like there's a skill tree for like smithing and a skill tree for farming and a skill tree for fishing and a skill tree for adventuring and blah blah blah. Skill tree for like taking care of animals. So it's that sort of farming sim game, except it looks like a Pokemon game. Like the later stage Pokemon. It looks like Pokemon Arceus, whatever you want to call it, or even Z to A. As in your characters are all that kind of style of character. Like if I get a picture of like one of the characters that turn up in the game, it's like this. All of the characters look kind of like this. Very, very anime style kind of design. I was enjoying it. I want to play more of it, and I still have more available in the demo. I don't know how much you have available in the demo and how much of it is going to translate over to the main game. What I want to know is when they're planning on releasing it. Right now, the only thing that they've got is that it's supposed to release in Q1 of 2026. So sometime in the first quarter of 2026, we should be seeing more of this game, like an actual release date for this game. And thus far, I've been enjoying it. I haven't really explored like any of the relationships that are available in the game, but it does seem interesting, and I'll probably play more of it. So the reason why I've got it in C is just because, again, it is a demo. I don't have the full game yet, and I'm very curious if there's going to be more in the game, or if like what I'm seeing is pretty much what I get. I mean, if what I see is what I get, then I probably would put it into maybe a B tier, because it's a solid B kind of game. But yeah, I guess we'll see. Only time will tell. All right, next up we have Strange Horticulture, which is a game I really like. It is kind of a creepy chill kind of game. I'm gonna put it in A tier. I know the other game that is of a similar vibe from the same devs came out recently, Strange Antiquities. So that's one that I will probably be checking out in the next year. I will probably save it for October to keep with the spooky month theme. But yeah, this game was very much like a take care of a garden, learn what different herbs are, point and click kind of adventure thing where you are exploring various parts of the map and using the various tools that you have to identify exactly where you need to go to find a new plant, and then use that new plant in order to unlock a little bit more of the story. And the story is all Eldritch monsters. If you like Eldritch monsters, Lovecraftian kind of storyline where you have some sort of creeping dread that creeps up, like it's just slowly raises the hairs on the back of your neck and brings this unease to the story that you have to unlock the mystery in order to solve, in order to find a solution to the unease that is just slowly creeping up your spine. That sort of story, if you like that sort of story, Strange Horticulture is for you. And I cannot wait to play Strange Antiquities. Like I said, I'm probably going to save it for October, but it's on my list. It is 100% on my list. So yeah, solid A game. Would highly recommend to anybody else who likes that sort of story. Okay, now this is an old favorite, so I don't think I'm going to have anything new to say about it because I've played this game so many times now. But Streets of Rage 4, I finally finished my Cherry Bomb run. Again, it's another A game for me. I really like the music in this game, and I like the gameplay even though I'm not really good at it. I have fun. I have a lot of fun with Streets of Rage. I don't know if I want to keep it A tier or B tier because I know that I struggle with some of the later levels in Streets of Rage. Like that last level, oh my god, oof. I usually end up playing it the last level I end up having to play it several times just because I'm not able to get through that last boss specifically, the last two bosses specifically. The game's not easy. And I'm more of a button masher sometimes when I play it, and I really shouldn't be. I should be a little bit more calculating with my moves when I'm playing this game. But the music is solid. I still have a lot of the tracks on my regular playlist. It's a really decent story, what you'd expect for any sort of beat 'em up sort of game. And it's probably going to be my standard for most beat 'em ups. So yeah, I'm gonna keep that in the A category. Okay, so our next game. I just saw what the next game on the list was, and that's why my voice went like that. Our next game is a game that I was really enjoying, and then I found out that the devs had not paid several of the artists that worked on the game and didn't even credit them, and it immediately put this game into F tier for me. If they didn't want their game to be in F tier, they should have... I'm trying not to swear. They really should have paid their artists and given them credit. Especially since they have a ton of paid DLC. A ton of cosmetic paid DLC. And they couldn't be bothered to pay their artists? Are you genuinely kidding me? So yeah. Sunhaven goes into F tier. If it hadn't been for that, I was really enjoying the game, and I was really getting like a lot out of it. I played a lot of Sunhaven. If I go to Steam and I look at my library, I had about 157.8 hours in this game over a period of like 7-8 months. Let's say 6 months. Over 6 months, I got 157.8 hours into that game. So I was really enjoying it, and then I found out about the fact that they hadn't paid their artists. And I got very mad, and I completely stopped playing the game. It goes straight into F tier. It knows what it did. Alright, next one is an oldie but a goodie. Terraria, another game that's probably gonna go into like B tier. It's very much... It's another game like Headliners, like Back 4 Blood. Definitely a game that is more fun with friends, but I think it's in B tier mostly because you can play Terraria on your own without like also needing to have friends. I feel like Headliners, you kind of need to have friends to play. Back 4 Blood, you could maybe do some solo stuff, but I think it's really a need to have friends to play sort of game. Once Human, you could do solo stuff, but you need to have friends to play, I think. Terraria is a game you could play solo. It's like Minecraft. You could play it solo. Okay, so here's another one that basically I started the demo for this game and I liked it so much, I'm definitely getting back to it again sometime. I don't know enough to really say if the story is great, so it's only going to go into B tier, but it's going into B tier because I was really enjoying it. And I would love to see more of it. I actually got like the main game. I forget it was Nemo who gave it to me. I think Nemo gave me the full game for this. And I fully intend on playing it in the future. I don't know when, but I will be playing it. Kind of sci-fi-esque theme with a little bit more of a turn-based kind of gameplay to it. If you're familiar with like Crypt of the Necrodancer, it has a very similar vibe in terms of like enemies will only move when you move. So our next game is also another game that only got started because it was one of the games we picked for co-op. I think this is probably another B game. I feel like I didn't get to play enough of it to really be able to classify. Oh no, actually no, that's not entirely true. I was enjoying it. It's a solid B game. I do want to play more of it. I don't know if we're ever going to get back to it, but I would love to see where it goes. I didn't finish enough of it to know like what the story fully is. Felt like a kind of a stereotypical story, but the gameplay was fun. Okay, so the next game is another game that I actually started with a demo and ended up getting like the full game of, and that is Wanderstop. So Wanderstop, it's a story game that is very much about how to handle burnout. I liked it a lot, but I do think I'm gonna end up putting it into either B or C. And the reason I have for that is because while the story is really good, you know what, I'll keep it in B, is really good for telling the story of your main character, you meet a lot of different side characters as you're going through the story, and I constantly felt like their stories were left unfinished. So like your main character had a full arc, and it's all about how she was how to handle burnout and learning how to stop and take a break and rest. But I felt like any of the side characters that she came across, a lot of them, their stories did not get finished. And I know I talked about how I really wanted to know the ending of the story for one of the characters that pops up in chapter 2, as well as one of the characters that pops up in, I think, chapter 4. But it kind of felt like their stories were left on a cliffhanger, and that made me a little irritated. So anybody, I will recommend this game to other people, especially ones who want to explore games with a chill vibe, but also that tend to talk about some of the more difficult topics to handle regarding burnout and then lashing out because you're burnt out. Burnout, overwhelm, working well beyond your ability, and then not giving yourself time to take a breath, take a breather, and come back to it once you've rested. All of that stuff are themes that get explored in this game. And it's also a very, very chill game because you run a tea shop. You are literally making a bunch of, growing a bunch of plants to use in tea. It was quite soothing in its own way. So yeah, would recommend that game, but I would suggest to anybody who plays it that they do not try and focus on the stories of any of the other side characters. They just focus solely on the story of your main character, because otherwise you're gonna get a little frustrated because they have a tendency to leave all of the side stories completely unfinished. I don't know if the side stories were things that they wanted to maybe explore in a sequel or something. So our next game is one I've only tackled recently, but I am kind of wanting to see where this goes, and I think it's going to be another tier C or tier B, just because I haven't played enough of it to know if I like it yet or not. But from what I've seen, it does look very interesting. I'm getting, I don't know if it's just me, I vaguely get Power Ranger vibes from it. This game is Warframe. I think I'm gonna put it into tier B because I was enjoying it, even if a lot of the gameplay of me playing it has literally just been me running around and just randomly picking up things. I don't think I've been a very productive member of the team. But I was enjoying it. I'm gonna put it as a tier, as a B tier for now, because I haven't played enough of it to really know more beyond that, so. Okay, the next set of games, I have them in a bunch of different orders here, but I will actually put them in like the order in which the games are meant to be played, which means I will be starting off with We Were Here 2. So We Were Here 2 is the sequel to We Were Here, which is actually a free game on Steam. You can play the first game for free on Steam. It's a puzzle game, it's a co-op puzzle game. You are meant to like go through and try and solve the various puzzles that allow you to progress through the castle together and reach the ending. There is multiple endings to We Were Here 2. You could either be sacrificed at the end, or you can escape, or you can get the secret third ending, which is doing a bunch of things in order to make it such that both of you can escape. This game, I mean, I've been going through the entirety of the series, and we're currently working through, me and Dagon were working through We Were Here Forever, but we took a break from it so that we could, since Lizargo's schedule changed back, and we could continue playing Once Human and Warframe together. So for now, I think, I'm not sure where I want to put this, honestly, because I don't think the puzzles in We Were Here 2 were like super difficult to understand. Nothing like that. They, like, once you figured it, like, it was fairly easy to figure out what you were supposed to do, and then it was more of a matter of how well your teamwork was with your partner. I've never tried playing random games for it, so, you know, I think I'll probably put this in B tier. No, actually, maybe I will just put it into A tier. I was enjoying the game. There's a lot of lore in it. A lot of the lore is a little hidden, though, but you do kind of figure out what's going on as you are working through the game. So, yeah, I think it's a solid A tier. Now, I know one of the games that I played from the We Were Here series was particularly horrible, and specifically the one I'm talking about is the third in the series, We Were Here Together. The problem with the third game in the series is that there were several instances of the puzzle just being absolutely not well explained at all. No explanation, and even when I went and looked up the solution, I still didn't understand what we were supposed to be doing. It wasn't clear at all, in the slightest. We ended up having to look up the solution, but even with the solution in hand, I could not actually understand how we were supposed to figure out what the solution was from the context clues given to us in the game. So I think We Were Here Together is probably going to end up being a little bit of a D for me. Because while there were some puzzles that were really good in it, there were also some absolutely awful puzzles in it. And when I say awful, I mean, like, how the fuck are you supposed to figure out what the solution was? That sort of awful. So it goes into D for me, which is a pity because, again, there were things in the game that were nice, they were fun, but oh my god, just those two puzzles that we ran into really kind of ruined the fun of it a little bit. Not to mention, so the second game, there was an ending where both of you could escape. The third game, your only options were sacrifice yourself or sacrifice your friend. So that I guess did kind of take away a little bit of my enjoyment of the game. It's a good game, those puzzles are a pain in the ass. And now we come to the fourth game in the series, which Dagana and I have not finished yet, and that is We Were Here Forever. I feel like the story of We Were Here Forever is really, really clearly laid out. Mind you, it's kind of the same story of all of the games, but I feel like in the fourth one, instead of it being like a subtle background story, it ends up being like kind of a little in your face which I think is necessary. I mean, because unless you are like spending the time like looking really deep into the lore of it and parsing out each of the cryptic voices that pop up in the game, and I say cryptic voices because the recordings are just not really clear. But yeah, unless you have that, unless you go and like spend time trying to parse that out, you're not going to quite understand what is going on in the first few earlier games of We Were Here. You don't have to either. You can still kind of like figure out what story is trying to get at. And there's enough online that you could look it up as well. But at the very least, even when we had a particular bit of the game that was a little confusing, we could still figure out how we were supposed to like solve the game or solve the puzzle. Either we figure it out on our own or we read like a little bit of a walkthrough and then figure out the rest from there. Which I cannot say for We Were Here Together, because even when I had the solution in front of me, I could not figure out what it was trying to tell me to do. So again, these games are really cheap. The sequels are really, really cheap, and that first game is free. So if you wanted to try a nice little co-op puzzle game with like a little bit of an eerie vibe, that is the game to go to. So this next game actually is a little bit of a surprise favorite. Like, I wasn't anticipating how much I was gonna like this game, but Wild Indigo Ranch is probably one of my favorite games of 2025, and it is solidly an A. Okay, so here's the thing. Here is the, I guess, caveat that I do need to mention. This game is buggy AF. There are a lot of bugs in it. However, most of the bugs can be solved by just restarting the game. And when I say restarting, a lot of the bugs will be like, sometimes a quest won't necessarily finish, but the easy way to fix that is save, go back to the main menu, go back into the game, and it'll have fixed itself. Maybe there's more, maybe it gets more buggy when you're playing multiplayer. That's possible, because I think a lot of the there are a lot of complaints about like the bugs in the game, but I was enjoying it. The story is fairly simple and like a little heartwarming in its own way. There's a couple of moments that are really cute, and also all of the characters look like little Lego pieces. Like, maybe not Lego, they look like little Duplo pieces. So really cute art style. So like, I wouldn't necessarily say like it's like the best story ever, but I latch onto the game. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It's a very chill kind of farming-esque crafting survival kind of game. I had fun with it. I had a lot of fun with it. I'd probably recommend it to other people. I would probably also warn them regardless that there's going to be a lot of bugs, but I was enjoying it, and it did look like the devs were continuing to work on little bits and pieces of the game, even now, even like towards the end, I'm still seeing the occasional dev post saying, we fixed this thing. There were things I kind of wanted it to do that it didn't do. Like, I think it would have benefited from having some sort of like daily quest thing. And I meant in-game day quest thing. Like how in, say, Stardew Valley, there's the board in the town where you can take on jobs where it's like, collect this many thing and give it to this person sort of jobs. And I feel like Wild Indigo Ranch could have benefited from something like that, where like every in-game day there's like a new quest in the middle of the town. It's like, please can you collect me this item because I need to make this thing, or could you craft me this item because I need to make this thing. I feel like it could have done more of that and needed more of that, but I still really enjoyed the game, and I wasn't anticipating how much I like would want to go back into the game. I really enjoyed the game. Like, really enjoyed the game. So yeah, Wild Indigo Ranch is a solid A for me. Alright, our final game of the year. Yonder, the Cloudcatcher Chronicles. This has been a really cute game, honestly. There's a lot of cute moments on it, and it's really easy to just like run around and just find random things and explore like various quests and fill them out. Very chill game. Actually, maybe I'll put it into B. because I don't know enough about the story to say whether or not the story is like a solid story yet. Very, very chill game where, again, it's just collecting crafting materials, filling out quests. The farming that you do isn't really like farming so much as growing various ingredients to feed to the various little animals all across the map, and then also exploring some of the storyline. Okay, all right, that was our last game. I've put it into the B tier. It was, again, a really cute, solid game. So yeah, that was all of the things. So here's how our tier list looks at the end. Once again, the B tier is like the furthest along tier. This happened last year as well, honestly. B tier was the longest tier. Ta-da! You know, here's the thing. I'm simultaneously surprised and not surprised that I have so many in the B tier. I feel like B tier sometimes ends up being a little bit of a placeholder tier for me as well. Not always, but sometimes. This is our final tier list for 2025.